Hi guys, this is my presentation on the history of hip hop. So, hip hop began in the Bronx, New York in the early 1970s by DJ Kool, who is considered to be the father of hip hop. Hip hop became like the fourth member of the arts at the time, which is like DJing, which is like music, miking, which was poetry, and graffiti, which kind of puts in the art aspect into it. DJ Kool kind of created block parties in a way as a way to bring communities out onto the streets and like have fun and like kind of and allowed kids to kind of get away from like the gangs and the drugs that were happening at the time. So breakdancing was one of the first forms of hip hop to be created. It is defined as swift, fast-paced footwork and arm movements. It is consistent with a lot of floor work towards the middle of the piece. The popular influences that helped create this was James Brown and Michael Jackson. Famous groups of famous breaking groups include like Zulu Nation and Crazy Commanders, who both advocate to like kind of do the same thing that DJ Kool did, was kind of to get people off the kids off the streets and into like a more positive environment. Breakdancing has been seen in films such as Wild Style, Flashdance, and Step Up. Popping was then formed in the mid 1980s. It kind of took after breakdancing. It is defined as muscle reflexes to form jerking movements. Timothy Solomon, aka Popping Pete, was like the founder of this style and created the basic techniques. And some of the famous groups include the Electric Boogaloos, which Timothy actually helped create. Locking has been around the dance world for over 45 years. It's defined as like quick hand movements and relaxed leg work. It is related to miming, which is because it bases off of the movements of mimes. It is mainly performed with funk music, and it is also inspired by like James Brown and Michael Jackson, as they used most of the technique in like their videos. One of the famous lockers includes Scooby Doo, who helped create the basic technique and movements of this style. Krump then began in like the early 2000s in Compton, California. It's actually an acronym for Kingdom Radically Uplifted Mighty Prize. Caesar, Will, and Joan Artis Rady, aka like Tight Eyes, and Big Mojo were the founders of this style, because it originally was called clowning at the time, because the dancers would paint their face like clowns and they would perform at children's birthday parties. And it's a very rugged and powerful style, probably the most raw form of hip hop out there. And it's very popular to be seen in music videos and television, such as So You Think You Can Dance, America's Best Dance Crew, and music videos like with Missy Elliott and many more. The famous group, one of the most famous groups that comes from Krump, is the Hip Hop Clowners, which have been around since 1992. Whacking was created by the LGBTQ community in the late 1970s. It is defined as arm movements that create a striking motion. It is a branch from punking, which was done during the time where gays weren't really accepted in society. So this was all created in illegal disco nightclubs. It then took a decline in the 80s and 90s due to the large breakout of HIV. The founders of this style then passed away. Brian Green was then the first dancer to bring the style back in 2003, and it's now kind of making its way into television and competitions. And that is my presentation. Thank you.